side of the border, and that has been issued for the area right next to it, which is going to be here in tornado warning there. Okay, let me pop this up on the other display, and this is what we have here. There's been a new tornado warning that's been issued for this time. We're talking about this one is in Lyon County in Iowa, and I'm sorry, Central Lincoln County. Now we've got another warning that's just been issued. That's Central Lincoln County in South Dakota, and this is this area now. Here's Worthing. This is Lincoln County here. This is to the west of the Canton area. Right in this area is where we have another circulation that has been detected. This one is in effect until 2:30 this afternoon. So now we have the second cell, another area. This is the first area of tornado warning. Now we have this one, Central Lincoln County on the South Dakota side of the border. So the tornado situation has now moved into South Dakota in the southeast part of the state. I just want to take a look at a second source here. I want to see if we're getting here for, okay, yes, there's a little bit of a rotation being picked up just to the west of Canton. And that is why we do have the tornado warning in effect for this particular area right in here, right in the leading edge. See this little indentation right here? That's the area we're looking at right here, right around the Worthing area, moving to the northwest. That is posted until 2:30 this afternoon. If I could get the information on that real quick. The latest on that cell is that we do have the problem right here, and it is this, that a radar indicated tornado was reported near Canton, moving north at 35. It would be just to the west of Canton is the way things are looking right now. Moving north at 35 miles per hour, headed kind of through that area out by the interstate, by I-29, moving in a northerly direction. So here's Canton. The indication of rotation was right in this area right here, moving north 25 miles per hour through Lincoln County is where it's going, and that's posted until 2:30 this afternoon. Also, there's going to be some very heavy rainfall on the back side of that, so you're probably not seeing the circulation if you are in that area. I'm going to back up once again, show you the big picture, because here's where we do have the two issues involved. First of all, until 2:30, for another 10 minutes ago, so we have this circulation in central and eastern portions of Sioux County in Iowa. That's where we have a tornado warning. Second warning now is over here to the west of Canton was the report of a tornado. It is now moving in a northeast direction about 35 miles per hour. It is headed in the general direction of Sioux Falls. We don't have anything posted for the Sioux Falls area yet, but central Lincoln County is under the tornado warning based upon that spin we were just seeing on the radar. And right now the spin looks like it's almost still just straight to the west of Canton, kind of out by the interstate, right about here. Right now, right in that little notch that you see right there, and it's moving to the north at 35 miles per hour. So we do have that situation in the central part of Lincoln County in South Dakota. We have this situation for these two red boxes. Those are in effect until 2:30 for the northwestern Iowa county of Sioux, and the whole system is spinning to the north, along with this heavy rain. So we do have the tornadic threat right on the northern edge, right on the leading edge of that rain, as it makes its way up from the south to the north, through the I-29 corridor. The red boxes are where we do have tornado warnings that have now been posted for those areas. We can go to the other source here so I can take a look at the warning area. Here it is once again. Here is Worthing. Here is Canton. The circulation right in this area right here, kind of in that little notch right there. It's moving to the north, so if you'd have it, it'd be about 6 miles or so northwest of Canton right now is where the center of that circulation is. The tornado warning is posted till 2:30. I think they're waiting to see if there's anything coming on as far as new information from the field. But right in this indentation right there, now we're using our radar out of Beersford, and it's right in that exact little notch right there, because we do have, that is where we're getting, the winds are kind of swirling right in that area. Heavy rainfall here, moving to the north. We've got some thunderstorms here right along the border with Minnesota, or I should say Iowa and South Dakota. And that warning is posted. This is the one again, central Lincoln County, Plus, we also have central and eastern Sioux County in Iowa. Those warnings are in effect until 2:30 this afternoon. Let's see if we got some new information coming in on this. The latest report we had was the Hospers area, where we did have the report of the tornado touchdown, and that was a brief touchdown from spotters, a trained spotter. We haven't had anything from the field since then. So those two areas is where we are watching right now. This is now we have a this area right here. You can see that those warnings all expected to expire at 2:30. So we'll see if there's an extension to those. This is central Sioux County in Iowa. This is eastern Sioux County in Iowa. That's where we have the warnings. The report of circulation, the touchdown briefly, was right over here. Now everything moving in a northwesterly direction.
Real quick, we got Brian Karstens on the phone. Brian, we're following these tornado warnings just to the south of Sioux Falls. We know you're near Canton, north of Canton. What is it that you see, and what is it that you can report?
Well, right now we're just dealing with a lot of heavy rain. I can tell you that the visibility is obscured right now. I can't see a lot, but right as the cloud base went over our house, at least, we could see a lot of vertical motion. There's a lot of, you could see a lot of the rotation there. But again, as this cell is now moving to the north, right now I have a lot of heavy rain. We probably have about a 30, 40 mile an hour wind here in the Canton area right now. But as we speak, right now at least rain coming down, but again, I can't see more than probably about 1/8 of a mile here right now.
Okay. Brian, be safe, of course. Thank you for that report. What we're looking at right now, of course, is our live radar coming out of Beersford. You can see that tornado warning just to the west of Canton. Brian lives just a couple miles to the north of Canton. You see that it does include the town there of Worthing, as this is moving to the north, and this warning is out for about another 7 minutes, and that will continue to be monitored. Now, something else that I do want to bring up now, this is a different product that we have, and rather exclusive to KELOLAND TV, able to show you where we may have some of the large hail associated with these storms. You can see that how it's highlighted there near Fairview, also on the southern edge where we do have that tornado warning. Again, these storms are continuing to move to the north, and I do want to throw this out there now. Grant Smith is highlighting that that tornado warning for Lincoln County has been allowed to expire. Okay, and that one's the one that goes until the bottom of the hour, so that one will expire. Otherwise, we continue to watch these storms, and again, we also using that product, which might be able to bring up some large hail within these storms. Those are those highlighted pink areas that you see. If we don't have the large hail there, then it's probably some very heavy rainfall, and that was in the forecast for today, too. The heavy rainfall associated with these storms, which may cause some flash flooding. But right now, we continue to monitor the weather there across extreme northwestern Iowa. Again, these tornado warned storms here out until the bottom of the hour, so it'll take us to about another 5 or 6 minutes. You see them moving through near Sioux Center, also Boynton, Iowa. These are moving to the north and to the northwest. Had a report here of some very strong winds there just to the east and northeast of Boynton earlier today. We'll have to check and see what some of those wind speeds were. Well, let's go ahead and bring in some other areas that we'll have to highlight. Again, let's go ahead and show you something else. The lapse here over the past 30 minutes showing that things continue to move to the north and to the northeast, and something that we will continue to monitor. We'll probably follow it as it does come into at least southern Sioux Falls to give you an idea as to what to expect as it does move into the Sioux Falls area. I'll tell you right now, we will have that heavy rain as it comes in. We'll continue to monitor what we may see as far as the severe weather aspects are concerned, because we do have that tornado watch, which continues until 7 o'clock this evening, and it covers north central and northwestern Iowa. So that's the reason why we've been following these storms and continue to monitor these storms coming up about 2:25 this afternoon. That again is a quick look at what's going on. KELOLAND Live Doppler HD using our Beersford radar, Jay.
All right, sounds good, Scott. The area that we're watching is right on the leading edge, as Scott was saying, the leading edge of that heavy rain as it moves up I-29 towards Sioux Falls. The warning box is right there just to the west side of Canton. Now, they are going to let that one expire. They haven't seen anything as far as tornadic activity, so they're going to let that one expire, at least for the time being. The heavy rain that Scott was mentioning is moving to the north. Also at 2:30, the other two warnings that we have over for eastern and central Sioux County are set to expire as well, so that's just a few moments from now. But yeah, it is a little unusual that these things are moving from southeast to northwest. That's Not typical, but it is because you can see the direction of this swirl, if you will, of these cells. That's because we have a big area of low pressure spinning over us, so it's pushing the line up to the front, but we also have the spin in the atmosphere. We do have the tornado watch that's been extended for all but the far northwestern tip, the Larchwood area of northwest Iowa. But here is where we do have that area of rainfall. It's making its way right now up toward the central part, the southern part of Sioux Falls. It's going to be raining pretty good here in just a few minutes. In fact, the heavy rain coming into Harrisburg right now. So we do have an idea of what's going on there. The whole system is pushing that heavy rain right up into the Sioux Falls area. There is not a flash flood warning posted at the present time. We do have flood warnings in effect for the river right between South Dakota and in Iowa. But in any event, that's where we do have the flood concerns right now is on the river. But we know that there's a lot of moisture in here, so it's going to rain. It's going to rain pretty good here in Sioux Falls within the next 15, 20 minutes or so as that whole storm system makes its way up to the north. Here's the leading edge of the heavy rain just now coming into Harrisburg. It has started to rain in Harrisburg, and it's going to get much harder here within the next few minutes. Now, an update on the tornadic situations that we do have. The warnings are all expired for Lincoln County in South Dakota. The warning continues for at least a couple more minutes for Sioux County in Iowa. And now we do have a new tornado warning that has been issued for Lyon and Sioux counties until 3 o'clock. Now this is kind of interesting. This is Lyon County in northwest Iowa, which was about the only county in northwest Iowa that was not in the updated tornado watch, and that's now we do have a tornado warning. It is this box right here. This is Lyon County here. This is Sioux County here. Now this whole system is moving to the northwest. This is the far most northwestern county in Iowa, if you will. That is Lyon County in Iowa. And now at least the southeastern part of that county, is under a tornado warning from these cells that have been making their way from southeast to northwest, coming up toward the far northwestern corner of South Dakota. The information on that is we did have the report of the brief tornado touchdown, so I think they're going to want to keep that going because of the possibility of another touchdown occurring. But again, this is now the most updated location from the Weather Service is for the Boyden area, and it is west of Sheldon, moving north at 30 miles an hour. So it's essentially that same area we've been watching all afternoon long. So we do have the tornado warning now. It's in effect until 3 o'clock for Lyon and Sioux County in Iowa. The warning for Lincoln County in South Dakota is going to be allowed to expire at 2:30. So nothing going on in terms of that. The Storm Prediction Center has just issued another advisory just to say that the greater tornado threat is now in the northern part of the watch, which is in effect until 7 p.m. tonight. Again, I want to show that to you just for our Iowa viewers because that's where the problems are. In northwest Iowa here, it is in effect until 7 o'clock tonight. And the only warning that we have in effect now, as of 2:30, is right here. That one right there, where you see that dark red color. So this is Sioux County in Iowa. This is Lyon County in South Dakota. Lyon County is now going to be, it's not in the tornado watch, but it is where we do have a tornado warning. Now, we do have some photos just coming into us from Elton, Iowa. Now, remember, there was the report of the funnel clouds spotted in Elton, Iowa. Here's what that area looked like before. You see a bit of a lowering there. Here's where the system really started to get going, was right around Elton, and this led just a few minutes later to a brief tornado touchdown that was reported in the near the Hospers area in eastern Sioux County in Iowa. So that's what it looks like right there. The storm's building up in an area with lots of air motion. And that is why we do have the tornadoes that were allowed to spin up this afternoon. And here's your warning area once again, this red box right here. The suspected tornado right here around the Boyden area is moving to the northwest at 25 miles per hour. This is eastern Sioux County in Iowa. And this is right here where we do have the southeastern part of Lyon County in Iowa. Here's the Larchwood area. Here's the Canton area. Note the tornado warning that was in effect for central Lincoln County in South Dakota has now expired. But the heavy rain threat is certainly going to be increasing here in the Sioux Falls area in the next few minutes. In fact, here's a look at our sky cam in Harrisburg. Just a couple of minutes ago, Scott, you were looking at this sky cam, and there was...
I can see a lot better, I can tell you that.
Yeah, there were just a few drops of the lens, but now we're reaching the early stages of that heavy rain that is coming towards Sioux Falls.
In fact, sometimes if we pan the sky cams down a little bit, we might be able to pick up on some of that hail, especially with well, the dark rooftop that we have there. So, yeah, you might see some hail stones start to fly there as well. Again, we're looking at our Harrisburg sky cam, of course, reduced visibilities as that moves through. The winds have picked up. The winds are a lot stronger in Harrisburg than in Sioux Falls when I came in, maybe about 5-10 minutes ago. So that I can tell. In fact, it does look like they may be getting some decent hailstones in there. In fact, we'll get in a little bit closer, try to zoom in for you, give an idea as to what we may be seeing a little bit better. That's how things are shaping up on KELOLAND Live Doppler HD using our Beersford radar, and you can see that heavy rain just coming into Harrisburg right now as it continues to move to the north. We also have some of that heavy rain over toward Parker and Freeman, while across northwestern Iowa. That's Sioux and Lyon County still with this tornado warning that is in effect until 3 o'clock this afternoon. And going back to those pictures, if we have them, great. If we don't, we don't. But the one thing about the land features we have across this area, especially when we're getting some of those river valleys, it's hard to see. You won't be able to see over those trees, so you can't really see it coming. That combined with the heavy rain. Sometimes we talk about these rain-wrapped tornadoes. They'll be hard to see that way as well. So again, northwestern Iowa under the gun here with this tornado warning, Jay.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a little bit of an updraft right there, right to the on the northwest side of Boyden. And that is the cell that is moving in a northerly direction, but right in here. That would be, based on radar returns, that would be the suspected area where we could be having a tornado, if not on the ground, perhaps a bit of spin in the cloud level that could lead to something a little bit later on. It is going to be in northwest Iowa, just on that side of things. Right here is what we're looking at. That's right, the very center of that tornado warning box. Eastern Sioux County, southeastern corner of Lyon County in Iowa. We do have a warning in effect there until 3 o'clock this afternoon because of the brief tornado touchdown reported down near Hospers, the funnel cloud that was spotted in Elton, and the persistent spin we've seen on radar as the cell started kind of down by the Sheldon area, has now moved all the way to the north through the Boyden area, just on now the northwest side of Boyden, kind of right in this area right here. You can see the little dot I'm looking at the screen right there. A lot of times that tells us there's an updraft in the area. Tornadoes are frequently near but just outside the updraft, so that is the area that we're watching right now. Again, it is right in on the northwest side of Boyden, Iowa. The red box that you see there on your screen, that is where we do have the tornado warning that is in effect.
Just issued. Look at this.
Yes, and no surprise here. We do have a new warning that has been issued around the Sioux Falls area. See that flashing box there? Severe thunderstorm warning now, including Lincoln and Minnehaha counties. That's in effect until 3 o'clock today. We did see the small hailstones on the Harrisburg Skycam. It actually looks like you can see those cells, the little hailstones right there. This is going to be a pretty widespread event. What you see there on your screen in Harrisburg is what is going to be in Sioux Falls fairly soon. Now, the warning has been issued as a result of the potential for some 60-mile-an-hour gusts and penny-sized hail. Now, we're just looking there. You can see a couple of hailstones, can't we, Scott, there on the...
It seems to be, a couple of hailstones, of course, flying in those strong winds. You said wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour with this storm. Again, we're looking at our Harrisburg Skycam. Just bear with us as we move the camera around to give you maybe a better view or so we can see what we're looking at as well, try to give you a better picture as to what's happening in Harrisburg. We can always come back to it, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and show you again KELOLAND Live Doppler HD. And you can see as that line of Well, very heavy rainfall, embedded hail, and strong winds continues to move to the north over Harrisburg right now.
Yep.
Schindler area starting to enter southern Sioux Falls right now, getting close to that southern edge there of 229.
This is 41st Street right about here. This is downtown Sioux Falls right here. This is Schindler, so you're already seeing some rain picking up in the southern part of Sioux Falls. Down by Harrisburg, we're showing you the hail that is starting to get going right there. Just small hail is all we've seen so far, but the severe thunderstorm warning now for Lincoln and Minnehaha County. That means we do have the possibility of a little bit larger hail. They're saying penny-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds, which means it's not a high-level event. It's actually a pretty low-level event, just meeting the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning. But the combination of things, as Scott was saying, if you get strong winds.
Well, very heavy rainfall, embedded hail, and strong winds continues to move to the north over Harrisburg right now.
Yep.
Schindler area starting to enter southern Sioux Falls right now, getting close to that southern edge there of 229.
This is 41st Street right about here. This is downtown Sioux Falls right here. This is Schindler, so you're already seeing some rain picking up in the southern part of Sioux Falls. Down by Harrisburg, we're showing you the hail that is starting to get going right there. Just small hail is all we've seen so far, but the severe thunderstorm warning now for Lincoln and Minnehaha County. That means we do have the possibility of a little bit larger hail. They're saying penny-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds, which means it's not a high-level event. It's actually a pretty low-level event, just meeting the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning. But the combination of things, as Scott was saying, if you get strong winds along with the hail, it can be a little bit more damaging. And the other thing that we do have going on, we're also going to get some very heavy rain coming in right now. And I'm sure we're getting ready to see some of the rain coming in our 41st Street sky cam. And we'll be looking at those here pretty quick because, as you can see on our radar, there's our sweep coming through. This is, again, our radar in Beersford shooting up through the storm. And you saw the update. It's actually moving fairly quickly at about 30 miles per hour. You saw the new sweep come through with the new information. You can see how the heavier rain is already inching toward the center part of Sioux Falls. So that is what's going to be happening here over the next several minutes, is the rain coming in and the hail coming in. But I better go back real quick before the rain hits the Sioux Falls area. I wanted to get back to that the tornado warned area, which is just across the border now over in Iowa. Here's where we do have the red box in the center part of your screen. That is where we do have the tornado warning. That is in effect for another 20 minutes or so. Looks like the cell is right about here, right in this area, just to the northwest of Boyden, moving in a northwest direction about 25 miles an hour. Here's the county line between, this is Sioux County here, this is Lyon County here. So that cell is just coming up to the Lyon County line at the present time. And we will see if that gets extended any further. Right now, it's only the very southern edge of Lyon County that is involved in that tornado warning at the present time. The latest we have is just radar indicated. We did have earlier, though, we did have touchdowns reported briefly down near Hospers, Iowa, which is down here. And we did have the funnel cloud that was seen. So we know that there is something there. The question is whether we have something touching down, because we have seen occasionally some swirls in our radar coverage. That's where we would have the suspected tornadoes. And right now, it's really just approaching the Lyon and Sioux County lines as it moves in a northwesterly direction. The tornado warning is in effect for another 15, 20 minutes because it is in effect until 3 o'clock this afternoon. The latest, that's all we've had really for spot reports. There hasn't been a lot of information coming out of those since we got the report out of Hospers. But that's what's going on right now, Scott.
Well, here's an expanded view. Just try to bring in southeastern South Dakota, Iowa, Minnesota, and what's happening. As you can see, we have that tail here. It's a very heavy rainfall coming in the southern Sioux Falls at the moment. Then it dives to the southeast over, well, just the east of Canton, Rock Valley, with some heavy rainfall near Sioux Center. We've been talking about this tornado warning here into Lyon and Sioux County, Iowa. That's set to expire at the top of the hour. Again, radar indicated tornado with that. We'll continue to watch this heavy rain embedded hail move through southern Sioux Falls as 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible with that one as well. And something else that we like to watch is just try to get inside some of those some of the winds there, try to look at some of the velocity data there, and you can see here that we are looking at some of the velocity data associated with this to give you an idea as to what we are trying to look at with that. We have some strong winds trying to move through that area across, well, we'll try to bring it up later for you.
All right, I did want to take a look, if we can, go back to what's going on in the around the Sioux Falls area, because we do have that cell which has just started to come into the southern part of Sioux Falls. It's going to be coming here pretty soon. Take a look at our sky cam out of, I had 41st Street up there just a moment ago. Maybe we just lost it. We do have the tornado watch that continues for most of Iowa. The heavy rain threat now for Sioux Falls. Oh, we can go back to that now, I guess. We do have the rainfall, which is coming into the southern part of Sioux Falls. And look how the rain and the winds have picked up just as a leading edge of that storm system we were telling you about. This is what we had in Harrisburg just a few minutes ago. This is 41st Street in Sioux Falls. This is Empire Mall right here. Temperatures started to drop, the winds have picked up, and the rain is certainly picking up. You can see the trees bending there. So this is going to be with us for a while. You're going to be seeing some heavy rainfall. You can see we're already starting to pond up on 41st Street. So yes, we are under a severe thunderstorm warning, but heavy rainfall is also a threat for us here in the Sioux Falls area. Let's go back to that if we can. Thank you. And here's we do have the severe thunderstorm. And you can see that we do have the heavy rainfall now coming up through the southern part of Sioux Falls. The heavy rainfall just coming over the 41st Street, and that is exactly where we are seeing the heavy rain coming in right now. Let's go to Casey Wanenberg from our news staff, who's out in it right now. Casey, what are you seeing out there?
Hi, Jay. We're right here. Actually, we're just pulled over to the side of the street. If you can kind of see us, it's coming down really hard. The rain is right now. So we just pulled to the side rather than getting out. But yeah, there are other cars that are pulling to the side of the street right now. We haven't seen any of the embedded hail yet, but I hear that could be coming our way. We're also noticing that winds all of a sudden are really picking up out here. We're going to continue to keep you updated out here. We are just heading towards southern Sioux Falls. Back to you in the studio, Jay.
All right, thanks, Casey. The heavy rain area has just come up from the south. It is crossing 41st Street right now, coming into downtown Sioux Falls. Some heavy rain, possibly some hail in those areas, so you can expect to see more ponding of the rain. Scott, can we go back to northwest Iowa? Let's see what's going on with our tornado over there. Again, this is the red box there. That's where we have had a tornado warning. Now, I just want to show you. Here's where things started. Down here, we had a brief tornado touchdown near Hospers. There was a funnel cloud reported here near Elton. Now, the whole thing has moved from southeast to northwest. A little unusual, but that's because of the spin of the air in the atmosphere right now. This is the cell which has been producing off and on that circulation we were talking about. It is now right on. This is the county line. This is Sioux County here. This is Lyon County here. So we're in the far northwestern part of Iowa. I should say the far southwestern part of Lyon County, but this is northwest Iowa. The whole storm is moving in a northwesterly direction, and it is just crossing now into Sioux County, out of Sioux County into Lyon County in Iowa. Now the heavy rain just reaching the Sioux Falls area, downtown Sioux Falls, so it is moving to the northwest, and it is some very heavy rainfall. Maybe if you could fire up one of the sky cams there, Scott. I think this is going to be pretty intense rainfall. The flashing yellow tells us there's a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for another 20 minutes or so, because that is where we do have the rainfall. And here's a look at the 41st Street again. You see we're already starting to pond up around the Empire Mall area. So that is what's going on there. The heavy rainfall now coming on in. There is a lot of juice in this atmosphere, and that is why we've had the tornadic situation in Iowa. That's why we've had the heavy rain develop in the southwest corner of South Dakota. Now we're watching those areas. Down around 41st Street in Sioux Falls is an area which frequently gets water ponded up, and traffic slows down right in that area around Empire Mall. It looks like we're already starting to see the ponding of the water, but we have very heavy rainfall, and this is actually that's a pretty significant signature of heavy rainfall from Parker across to T to Sioux Falls, and then all the way down to Orange City. So that is a lot of heavy rainfall. Here's a look at, well, we were just looking at some information, what's going on with the
Well, the strong winds associated with this, Jay. We mentioned before at that warning that we can get some of those wind speeds up to about 60 miles per hour, and this is what we were trying to get to earlier. That's downtown Sioux Falls.
That is downtown Skycamp, so it's raining pretty good. Some of these cells could give us 1.5 inches of rain in about an hour, so that is going to be a big concern for us right here. 41st Street is that's Minnesota Avenue right there in the bottom of your screen. That is going to be soaked here very soon, and you're going to start to see cars going through ponding water. Northeast winds at 15, I don't think so. I think the winds have just gone up with the approach of the rain coming in from the south. There it is on Viper, using our radar out of Beersford, but that's a lot of heavy rain, even in northwest Iowa, in the eastern part of Sioux County, all the way to Sioux Falls, and then all the way down to Orange City. So that is a lot of heavy rainfall. Here's a look at, well, we were just looking at some information, what's going on with well,
the strong winds associated with this, Jay. We mentioned before at that warning that we can get some of those wind speeds up to about 60 miles per hour, and this is what we were trying to get to earlier. That's downtown Sioux Falls.
That is downtown Skycamp, so it's raining pretty good. Some of these cells could give us 1.5 inches of rain in about an hour, so that is going to be a big concern for us right here. 41st Street is that's Minnesota Avenue right there in the bottom of your screen. That is going to be soaked here very soon, and you're going to start to see cars going through ponding water. Northeast winds at 15, I don't think so. I think the winds have just gone up with the approach of the rain coming in from the south. There it is on Viper, using our radar out of Beersford, but that's a lot of heavy rain, even in northwest Iowa, in the eastern part of Sioux County, all the way up through Lyon County into Minnehaha County in South Dakota, and across even out to the west, Lincoln County and points to the west out toward Turner County. So there is some very heavy rainfall that is going on right now, and that is going to be with us for a few minutes. So about as heavy as the rain is in Sioux Falls right now, that's also what they're seeing in these areas where the tornado warnings were just a few moments ago. Orange City, Sioux Center, Boyden, and this is all heavy rain just ahead of it. That little cell is the one we've been watching for tornado potential. Actually, tornado success. There was a brief touchdown, but that red box is where we do have the tornado warning. You're done with the tornado stuff down south of Boyden. This is where the tornadic activity, or that same cell that produced the tornado, is right now. Haven't had anything, reports out of the field since that report of a brief touchdown in Hospers. There might also be some small hail associated with that thing. The warning does continue, that tornado warning does continue till 3 o'clock, moving to the north at 30 miles per hour, and so that is one issue that we have. The other issue is rain. Oh, now we do have a second report out of Elton. Remember, we were talking about Elton before. There was actually a brief tornado touchdown report there, but that was at 2:10, so about half an hour ago, further south. That's why those warnings continue. I know it sounds kind of obvious, but it is something we actually look at. Cells where a tornado occurred, like right there, that's where the confirmed touchdown was, and there, a cell that has produced a tornado, that's the most likely one to produce another tornado. So that is an issue there. We have some reporters out in the field from KELOLAND News out in the field. Casey Wannenberg is one of them. Casey, where are you, and are you floating away?
Not quite yet, but it is, the street flooding is starting to add up, Jay. We're at the corner of Minnesota and 39th Street right now. And as you can see out here, the one side of each lane, you're really starting to see a lot of rain there. We're standing under the awning, so we're a little bit protected. But it's also, the wind is actually picking up a lot more too. We'll continue to keep you updated, Jay, and I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Casey. I just did want to mention that underneath Casey said tornado warning. The tornado warning is what's over here in Iowa. What Casey's in is a severe thunderstorm warning in Sioux Falls. So here's where the tornadic activity is over in northwest Iowa. Here's the thunderstorm activity in Sioux Falls. So we got two different boxes. You see them flashing there, different colors. This one's red, the tornado, which is essentially right about where you have Lincoln and Sioux and Lyon County meeting right now. And in Lincoln, Minnehaha County, that's where you have the very heavy rainfall. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for maybe wind gusts of 60 miles an hour, maybe hail to penny size. So very low-end event, but they certainly have gotten the attention because of the very heavy rainfall, which is now coming through Sioux Falls. And it is coming down pretty good. There may be some hail in them, but we know that for sure we have some heavy rain, and that trend is going to continue. Just want to show you another shot from another one of our sky cams in Sioux Falls. It is coming down pretty good, and it is going to continue to come down pretty good. Here's a look at our sky cam coming up out of Falls Park. You can see the heavy rainfall has now reached the northern part of South Dakota, of Sioux Falls, and also the fact that the rain is already starting to come into the river. I suspect the falls are going to be roaring tonight because there is a lot of rainfall coming right into the city from that system that has come up out of Nebraska. Really, most of Sioux Falls now is getting the heavy rain. You can see that on our Beersford radar, you can see this is the sweep, so every time it goes through, we have new information there, and you can see it is now all the way through up to I-90. So, by the way, traffic out on I-90 is going to be getting some very heavy rainfall here. Well, it's just started, according to our latest sweep. Now the area of heavy rain, the line of heavy rain has just hit I-90 as it moves to the north. I would think travel would be difficult at best going through I-90 because there's not much in the way of visibility when that heavy rain comes through and the fact that it's blown by the wind. But this yellow box right there, that is Lincoln County, Minnehaha County. That's where we have the severe thunderstorm warning posted until 3 o'clock. Out to the southeast, that's where we have problems. Out here, that red box right there, that is Sioux County in Iowa, that is Lyon County in Iowa, and kind of right in between. This is a cell that has produced confirmed touchdowns, although brief, I want to emphasize that. We don't have reports of damage or anything, but brief touchdowns have been reported out. That cell, as it's moved from southeast to northwest, right through the eastern part of Sioux County, now into Lyon County in Iowa, up toward the George area. And see that kind of the indentation right there? That would be the suspect area, essentially right on the line between those two counties. Right here. That's the area that we're looking at as possible tornadic. Also, by the way, I'm pretty sure you've got some either very heavy rain or some hail going on right there just to the northwest side of Matlock, but that's maybe a secondary concern. Here's where the tornado touchdown was a bit earlier. We did have that confirmed now. Train spotter reporting a confirmed touchdown there down by Orange City. So you can see the way that everything's moved in about the space of an hour right through that area.
I do want to show something here, give you a different source, give you a different perspective as to what we may be looking at with some of these storms moving through. We're on our Viper machine right now, able to pick up on some of the strongest wind shear that we may have with these storms. Again, it looks like it's in the northernmost part of where we do have this tornado warning. Maybe a little hard to see because of, well, the terrain that we have going, but it's that area there. You can see that cursor kind of spinning around that area. That green that we have in the northernmost part of that warned cell, that's something worth watching. And then here into Minnehaha County, you know, we mentioned before that we could have wind speeds up to 60 miles per hour. And, you know, some of the strongest winds now may just be to the north of the Brandon area as that continues to move to the north. And then we also have some maybe on the southwestern side of Minnehaha County as we zoom out a little bit to bring you folks in across this area here. It looks like we continue to watch that part of the area into north and northwest of T. Again, everything continues to lift to the north, but that could be a spot there inside that storm that has some very strong winds as well. And if you're not getting the strong winds, you are definitely getting some very heavy rainfall, maybe even some embedded hail. Now, we also have another report coming in from the field with Leland Stevo, who is live in Harrisburg. What do you see for us there, Leland?
Well, Scott, like you said, I'm here in Harrisburg, and right now I've seen a lot of lightning strikes. We were driving down Minnesota Avenue here to Harrisburg. We saw a lot of lightning strikes not too far off of that road, a few that almost looked like they reached the ground as we were driving in here. As we were driving through southern Sioux Falls into Harrisburg, heavy rain that was actually flooding a lot of the roads, a lot of spots where there was a lot of water that cars had actually a difficult time getting through. Here in Harrisburg, we've noticed a few of those spots as well. Cars are still being able to drive for the most part through the conditions conditions here. And looking down towards the south, I do see a little more clear skies as we're going to give you a look here here to the south here of Harrisburg. But as the rain is slowly starting to let up here in this area as it's heading more towards the Sioux Falls area. But as we were driving here, we noticed a lot of kind of flooded areas on the street. So definitely something to be aware of if you do go on those roads here in southern Sioux Falls into Harrisburg. We'll continue to monitor the situation, and as we'll continue to look at the areas being affected by this storm. But until now, we'll send it back inside for more coverage.
All right, thanks, Leland. Scott was mentioning the strong winds before, and that's pretty common when you get a lot of heavy rain coming down. And a lot of times will drag down air from the cloud level, and also it'll push kind of like a bulldozer. You get strong winds out on the leading edge of that advancing area of heavy rainfall, and that's what we have right now, right over the I-90 area. Looking down to the down into the northwest part of Iowa, we see a couple of things, Scott. We've seen an extension of the tornado watch now affecting southwest Minnesota.
Now, the watch that we have going into southwestern Minnesota, Jay, that's actually extended till 10 o'clock this evening. I know we have it up there till 7 o'clock. Haven't been able to update that graph. Western Minnesota, Jay, that's actually extended till 10 o'clock this evening. I know we have it up there till 7 o'clock. Haven't been able to update that graphic as of yet. But into Cottonwood, Jackson, Murray, Nobles, Pipestone, and Rock counties in Minnesota, that is out until 10 o'clock this evening as we've been watching the storms move to the north. And you could see very heavy rainfall. Mentioned that, showed it with the sky cams a couple of times. And also this tornado warned cell that we have here into Lyon and Sioux County into northwestern Iowa. That one goes until about 3 o'clock. So for the next 5 minutes, we'll continue to update that. But we mentioned the heavy rain in Sioux Falls, Jay, and we've had some live reports in the field with that, too.
Yeah, let's go back out to Casey Wannenberg, who's out in it, Casey.
Yeah, Jay and Scott, as you can see, we're going down 41st Street right now, and we've been noticing a lot of street flooding here. Just take a look at what's coming up right here in front. And we've also been starting to notice more lightning out here. You'll definitely want to be careful if you are headed out on the road today. Also, when we've been driving, we've noticed a few kids heading home from school. So just a reminder, too, about those kids. You know, if a parent, you might want to check that into that. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Casey. Take a look at the leading edge of that rainfall. It has now crossed I-90 as it moves to the north, and things not quite as heavy as they were before now in the southern part of KELOLAND. It is really, this is the business end of it. It goes, this is Lincoln County down here, this is Minnehaha County through here. Here's I-90 right there, so you can see the area of heavy rain has now crossed I-90. Looks like we have some pretty heavy rain going on in the southwest corner of Minnesota. Now, Scott was mentioning before that is where we do have a new tornado watch that has been extended out of Iowa. The area of concern in Iowa, well, still is. What's going on down there? Here's where we do have now. We do have a new report just in your Matlock, Scott. If you can let me know what that is. They've apparently seen something right on the Lincoln and Lyon County border. If you can.
Yep, that was a chaser report of a tornado that came in at 2:45. But the latest information with this tornado warning for Lyon and Sioux County is it will expire, and that expires here at the top of the hour. So at 3 o'clock, you'll notice that red polygon that continues to flash should go away. And the severe thunderstorm warning for Lincoln and Minnehaha County is also expiring too, Jay. So it looks like things are calming down for the moment, but that doesn't mean we're done yet. We have a lot of heavy rainfall across southeastern South Dakota and Iowa and Minnesota. And you mentioned too that, that tornado watch has been extended until 10 o'clock this evening. Now here's another look at that as we'll get a little bit closer to. On the Iowa side of things, it's out till 7, but it has been extended there into Minnesota, and that's out until 10 o'clock. For this evening. Let's go back to KELOLAND Live Doppler HD. There's that area across southeastern South Dakota, especially in the northwestern Iowa. Now moving into southwestern Minnesota to include Hills, Minnesota. Probably been raining there quite heavily for a while. So these will continue to lift to the north. And this is rather interesting too. I just want to back this up here on the western side of that warning and bring up this other source as we might be getting some strong winds on the western side of that. You could start to see some of that too with the signature coming back from the radar with the reflectivity. We may have some strong winds trying to punch into that part of the storm. right there on the western side. So something worth watching there, Jay.
And that's out here. That when you got a lot of rain coming down, that frequently happens. But that whole area of, Scott was showing you the heavy rainfall or the strong winds right here. That whole thing is going to be lifting to the north here over the next several minutes. As Scott was saying, they are going to let the severe thunderstorm warning expire for Sioux Falls, for the Minnehaha and Lincoln County sides of the border. We shall see what will happen. They may have to extend. This is Sioux County in Iowa. Here's Larchwood right there. This is Sioux County in Iowa. They may have to extend this warning box a little bit further to the north now, because they had just a few minutes ago. Now they're up by Matlock. There was a report of a tornado touchdown from a spotter or a chaser out there. So they did have confirmation. So they may be, that warning may be extended now. It's going to expire. This red box is going to disappear here in about a minute. But there may be some extensions further into eastern portions of Lyon County, depending on how things are seen. It's still suspect. There's still some energy with that cell. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And the heavy rainfall that is occurring also. You are seeing a lot of it. And the storms have also started to pop up into the southwest part of Minnesota. So we'll have to keep an eye on those things. That's what's going on right now in the southeastern part of KELOLAND. Again, southwest Minnesota, you are now under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. All of northwest Iowa, you are under a tornado watch until 7 o'clock tonight. The warning, the severe thunderstorm warning, is the severe thunderstorm, the heaviest rain has already passed through the Sioux Falls area. It is now north of I-90, the northern part, heading into the northern part of Lincoln County. You can expect to see some brief heavy rain, maybe some small hail out of that. This is where we have the heavy rain right now over in northwest Iowa. It's kind of the same area where we had the tornado warnings a bit earlier, but the threat right now is of heavy rainfall. You can see from my screen that they have allowed the warning, the tornado warning for northwestern Iowa. They have now all been allowed to expire. So we still have right now is a watch that is in effect, a tornado watch for western Iowa and into southwest Minnesota until 10 o'clock tonight. So here till 7 o'clock, here till 10 o'clock tonight. Heavy rainfall now moving to the north. There are no more severe weather warnings, either thunderstorm or tornado at the present time. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the rain come down. We're going to watch the winds blow. If these things strengthen again as they move to the north, if they strengthen again, we see more tornadic activity or strong thunderstorm activity with lots of winds and hail, we'll jump back on the air. But for the moment, as it continues to rain across much of southeastern KELOLAND, we'll send it back to your local programming. Stay dry.
More people than ever are making the move to Nissan.
Moved from southwest to northeast. One was down here earlier, then up near Matlock. We had another report a few minutes ago. And see, Matlock, we did have a report right there of a brief touchdown, and then everything moving to the north. But in any event, we have had an extension now of that tornado warning for the eastern half of Lyon County in Iowa. It's heading toward the Minnesota side of the border right now. You can see the other part of this is that's the tornadic area right there, right around George. That's where our Viper processor, looking at the winds inside of the storm, takes a look at the winds, directions, and speeds, says that's the most likely area. If we have a tornado, it would probably be right there, right around George, Iowa. That's what we've had within the past few minutes. The other thing is there's also some very heavy rainfall in that area as well. So you could be missing out on this. If you're over here, you're getting heavy rain. If you're in the western side of that storm, on the eastern side of the storm, you are getting the heavy rainfall. And Scott also wanted to talk about the leading edge of that heavy rainfall over in the southeastern part of South Dakota, because you're probably seeing some pretty strong wind gusts on the leading edge of that line of heavy rain, like the one that came through Sioux Falls now, north of Sioux Falls. And the leading edge of that, Scott, you're getting some radar indications of some pretty strong winds that are occurring right
It'll
in the
be
leading
something
edge of
worth watching, Jay. Now, this one had a severe thunderstorm warning on it earlier. It has expired, but I would not be surprised if we do get some strong winds, especially on the outer fringe of that area. As we do take another look here at Viper, able to pick up on some of those stronger winds that we may have just to the north of Sioux Falls, still in Minnehaha County. Again, a non-warned storm, But one worth noting that, yes, we may have some stronger winds eventually on their way over toward Del Rapids through Garrettson right now. Probably already had their strong winds blow through that area. We'll look at a couple of things behind the scenes to try to bring in how strong these winds may actually be going. But we have had, some estimates that they can get, as strong as, say, 40 miles per hour, maybe even more. And these are fast-moving storms, Jay. This is something that you mentioned a little bit ago, that they are moving fast. They're dumping their heavy rain. We do have some ponding of the rain on those roadways, of course, and that will slow you down traffic-wise, too. But they're moving rather quickly to the north, I believe around 40 miles per hour. But again, that's the latest tornado warning that we do have. That takes us into northwestern Iowa. And this one is into Lyon County, and this is out for 25 minutes. This is out until the bottom of the hour.
Right, and right now it looks like the stronger winds that we're picking up on our Viper processor are kind of around the George area. So right in the middle of that box is where we're getting the greatest wind shear, which is winds that change direction and speed with height in the atmosphere. So that's the area which typically where you see tornadoes form. It's going to be in the area where you have the greatest spin going on. So that's what we're trying to measure on radar. That's what we're trying to identify right now using our radar. This is a sweep of again, this is our Beersford radar. You see it sweeping on through, so continually giving us new information. As the cell heads up toward the Minnesota border, that is going to be the area of concern here over in the atmosphere. So that's the area which typically where you see tornadoes form. It's going to be in the area where you have the greatest spin going on. So that's what we're trying to measure on radar. That's what we're trying to identify right now using our radar. This is a sweep of again, this is our Beersford radar. You see it sweeping on through, so continually giving us new information. As the cell heads up toward the Minnesota border, that is going to be the area of concern here over the next several minutes. Also some very heavy, it's kind of interesting. I said the greatest tornado threat was around George, but also they got some pretty heavy rain around George as well, so it might be difficult to see any of those circulations. Also, you see the reds through here. Look at how heavy that rain is. Hills, Minnesota, Beaver Creek especially, and across into the northern part of Minnehaha County. The area Scott was talking about, the leading edge of that is a wall of wind, and then right behind it, followed by the heavy rain and pretty heavy rain at times. And Scott, you're looking at that little notch that's going on up where you said the leading edge of that rainfall is getting a little interesting. There's going to be some pretty good winds going on right up near Baltic, the way things are looking right now.
From Baltic over toward the Sherman area, things are starting to pick up here as far as the winds go. Del Rapids, be on the lookout here. You probably get some strong winds momentarily. Sherman, same story for you guys. This is moving to the north, but if we want to pinpoint it a little bit better, we'll get into this area here just to the east of Baltic.
Yes.
As this is the spot worth watching here. Again, this is the leading edge of some of that heavy rain that just moved through Sioux Falls, about 10, maybe 15 minutes ago. So
yes,
this will continue to travel
just
north.
real quick. I'm just pointing at that area right there to the east of Baltic. We may be seeing some very strong winds in that area, and it looks like it might be just a little bit of a swirl going on in the atmosphere right now. I would certainly expect that there could be very heavy rains just on the east side of Baltic right now.
So they'll go through the same thing we went through here in Sioux Falls as that heavy rain moved through. Your winds will pick up. Of course, Del Rapids, be on the lookout as well. We'll get some strong winds and some heavy rains about to enter your area. But I do want to take it back here to the more traditional view of the radar. As you can see, we will continue to monitor let's do what's going on here across northwestern Iowa as well. You see it into Sioux County, Iowa. That tornado warning is out until the next 20 minutes as this storm is continuing to move to the north, as you mentioned too, Jay, into southwestern Minnesota. That will be the next in line if it continues its strength and its current speed and direction. So we've already had some reports come in earlier this afternoon, and these reports continue to come in from parts of northwestern Iowa, especially Buena Vista County near Newell. They reported some damage there earlier today.
Yeah, there's damage to garages, and a hog barn was damaged, utility poles along Highway 7. So that was in Buena Vista County in Iowa. But now on KELOLAND Live Doppler, we see the heavy rainfall continuing, and we're watching the possibility of some very strong winds just to the southeast of Del Rapids.
I'll bring up that other source for you,
okay,
Jay, if you want
thanks.
to point that out a little bit better.
That's kind of on the leading edge of the heavy rain right through here. It looks like we got some very gusty winds, and we're kind of keeping an eye on this area just to the east of Baltic. We have seen a little bit of a swirl maybe on the radar of a few miles southeast of Baltic out of that storm system as it moves to the north. So right around in this area, it's kind of a suspect area we're keeping an eye on, because we know that when you get the very heavy rainfall like that is, on the leading edge of it, frequently you'll have, it's almost like a bulldozer effect. Think a little snow getting pushed up by a bulldozer. Kind of in that area, we have some wind shear going on. And here's a look at the rainfall again. Very heavy rainfall right in Baltic and some of these areas right in there. The leading edge of it, some strong winds, some heavy rain right on the northern part of Minnehaha County. Here's Baltic, very heavy rainfall right now. Lyons over in Minnehaha County, east of I-29. So this whole area is moving to the north, and as it does so, it's moving at a pretty good clip. So it wouldn't be unusual that maybe we have a little swirls or things like that going on in the radar as that heavy rainfall does come through. Better go back to where the tornado warning is once again. The eastern part of Lyon County in Iowa. This is the box, the tornado warning box, I should say. Tornado warning is in effect for another 20 minutes or so. We've been watching this area right around George in the past few minutes. That's the probably the most dangerous part of the storm as far as tornadic concerns are. But I wanted to point this out. This happens sometimes with these types of storms. We have a lot of juice in them, a lot of moisture. A lot of times you get heavy rainfall, and if you do get a bit of a spin, it's hard to see it because you can see very heavy rainfall here. So if there would be a tornado gathering or a tornado, if you got air swirling at cloud level, a lot of times it's hard to see it because of the very heavy rainfall that's coming down at the same time. The red box is the tornado warning area. It is 3:11 right now. It's in effect for another 19 minutes for the eastern part of Lyon County in Iowa. That's the latest that we have out of that situation. The latest information, just the thunderstorm wind damage that we've had in northwest Iowa, who may be starting to get some of those on the South Dakota side of the border. The winds have really picked up out of that, the leading edge of that thing, kind of from Del Rapids across to Colton. You can see, I'll just show it to you right here. Right in this area right here, it looks like very strong winds in the leading edge of that storm as it does move from south to north. This is Del Rapids here, here's Colton here, and this dark red, that's where we have the heaviest rain. The Central Lyon School just announcement into us. They're going to hold students at school for a while because the storm which is going through right now. So that's the latest. Central Lyon Schools in Minnehaha County. They're going to hold on to students for a while because of the storm which is just pushing through that area right now. The dark red is where we do have the very heavy rainfall at the present time. Scattered storms in southwest Minnesota. Of course, you've been added to the tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. Everything moving from south to north. Sioux Falls, we're in this clearing area. We might get have a dry period here the way things are looking for a few hours. Here's a look at the tornado watch. This is a pretty big watch.
Once again, didn't it?
It has really been extended. Now this is down here in Iowa earlier today, in kind of central Iowa. Then it got expanded to the north. Then these storms generated over Sioux County, so they extended the watch all the way to the northwest corner of Iowa. Now it's into southwest Minnesota. As Scott said, Iowa till 7 o'clock tonight. That's down here. Southwest Minnesota till 10 o'clock tonight. And the reason for that is, and this is Scott's changing things on the fly to be accurate.
Just updated as we speak.
Very good. Here's a look at where we do have the tornado warning. So as a result of this very vigorous system, they've extended the tornado watch all the way up into the southern part of Minnesota. By the way, they're also getting some pretty heavy rain in Minnesota later on tonight as well. So it is, a lot of us are in for a good soaking out of the storm system as it moves through the area. Here's a look back at KELOLAND Live Doppler. Again, this is our radar out of Beersford we're looking at right now. Sioux Falls, look at this. All the stuff's moving to the north. We're going to dry out here.
We even have a little bit of clearing trying to show up on the sky cam too.
Yep.
Jay.
How about that? So we got the heavy rain going through. I'm sure it's a totally different situation right now. Baltic, Del Rapids, they got some wind in Del Rapids, Colton areas. They got some wind, and they got some very heavy rain moving through at the present time. So that's a look at what's going on there right now. The latest information, with the last report we have of a tornado was by Matlock, which is about on the border between, which is, well, I'll show you where it is. It's right here, down along the border between Sioux County here and Lyon County here. So that's where we had the latest report of a tornado touchdown. Chaser or spotter saw one down there. You can see that little red dot tells us what's going on there. The tornadic part of the system is now moved further up toward the George area, maybe a little bit further to the north. That's the suspect area, the most likely area to produce a tornado if one is occurring. And the warning box goes all the way to the border. This is the border right there. Iowa here, Minnesota here, and that's where the warning ends at the present time. The sweep going through again from our Beersford radar, continuing to update the information as we go minute by minute here. Yep, that would be, if something's going on, it's going to be going on kind of around the George area or just on the north side of George at the present time. So that's where we do have the tornado warning. Tornado warning for the eastern part of Lyon County is still posted till the bottom of the hour, so about 15 minutes or so. That's the latest information that we have. We do have crews that are out and about gathering information. They'll let you know what's going on a bit later. We have one crew in northwest Iowa, and so they'll be able to let you know what's going on later. This is all we have as far as warnings are concerned, right there, right in this exact area. That red box is where we do have the tornado warning. This is Lyon County in Iowa. Here's the Minnesota border, Ellsworth, Minnesota. This is, of course, South Dakota. The heavy rain, the line of heavy rain and probably some strong winds right now. Del Rapids and points to the north, just about to exit Minnehaha County. And so those two things going on at the same time. And Sioux Falls, noting that big area of emptiness. Yeah, we might even get some sunshine here in the next few minutes punching through on that storm system. The latest information we do have is what's going on over in northwest Iowa. That's the biggest area right now, the biggest area of concern. We have had some heavy rains push through there, but again, the tornadic threat be right around here. And we've had a shortage of spotter chaser information coming out of this cell of late, and I suspect that is because it is raining really heavy. In fact, kind of in that area where you see not so much rain, that's kind of the updraft area of the storm, and that would be a pretty dangerous place to be because you're surrounded by water right now. It might be a little difficult to see what's going on with that storm system, but in any event, it's moving from southeast to northwest. Again, a little unusual, but it does happen, and that's what's going on right now. The eastern half of Lyon County in Iowa, that's where we do have that tornado warning, the red blocks flashing there. If it holds together, eventually it would head up toward Ellsworth, up toward Canaranzi, and Adrian. If it does hold together and keep moving as current direction and speed. Out ahead of it, we do have some heavy rain, and this area, this is the leading edge of the storm that came through Sioux Falls, bringing us the very heavy rainfall, the brief, very heavy rainfall. Now Colton, Dells, up toward Trent. This is now crossing the border out of Minnehaha County, heading further to the north into the areas up to, well, heading up in the general direction of Flandreau. But in any event, you can see that the way that leading edge changes every time our radar sweep going through. It's moving pretty fast. It's moving a pretty good clip, northerly direction, 20 to 30 miles per hour or so. And that's what's going on there. Scott, what are you showing us there?
Well, just to try to bring the rest of southeastern KELOLAND into view here, just so we can, try to bring in some other folks in the Yankton, Vermilion area. Not much happening right now. It looks like we have the dry punch of air trying to work through. But you know what? This area, this more or less this line.
All the severe thunderstorm warnings over in Minnesota.
Right? Yeah, that too. Right, this area that I highlighted as well. We'll see if those thunderstorms end up training, and that could give us some problems as far as flooding goes. if they more or less continue to hit the same spots over the next couple of hours as they continue to move to the north. So yeah, that's something that we'll have to watch going forward as well. So yeah, we'll watch that, and we'll try to bring you here's a lapse of things going on right now. As yes, it is trying to move to the north for the time being. I want to go over and switch our radar products here as well to give you maybe a better idea as to what we are watching here with KELOLAND Live Doppler HD. Otherwise, our share product still picking up on the very strong winds with that into northern parts of Minnehaha County. No warning for that one, but something worth watching. Probably some strong winds just moved through the Del Rapids area, and then here into Lyon County, into Iowa. We'll continue to watch that storm system as well, Jay.
All right, let's take a look at another look at that tornado warned area, eastern part of Lyon County in Iowa. Around the George area, down toward Matlock is the area that we're looking at. Really, right around here is the area of concern. Right in these areas, this is where we did have the brief tornado touchdown reported earlier. But again, it's right anywhere around George is where you're likely to see if there is a tornado occurring. Those are the areas that you're going to be concerned about. And again, moving in a northwesterly direction, headed toward the Minnesota border. So that's a look at what's going on there at the present time. We do have the one tornado warning continues till the bottom of the hour for the eastern part of Lyon County in Iowa. That is what you see, the flashing red box on your screen. In addition to that, we have a lot of areas where we're getting some winds that are gusty and some pretty heavy rain at times occasionally. We do have the tornado watch that's in effect for the eastern part of the KELOLAND region until 7 o'clock tonight for northwestern Iowa, until 10 o'clock tonight for southern Minnesota, including the southwest part of Minnesota. Nothing in the South Dakota side of the border at the present time. The one warning does continue for this area, the eastern part of Lyon County in Iowa, for another 9 minutes. That's the latest from the Storm Center at KELOLAND TV. We'll keep an eye on these storms. If they strengthen again, flare up, or behave badly, we'll jump back on the air to give you the latest information. Until then, from the Storm Center at KELOLAND TV, for Scott Mundt, Grant Smith, I'm Jay Trobec. We'll send you back to your regular programming.